In this video, I'm going to review the Cleo Skribent Optima fountain pen. I'll go over the specs, I will do a writing sample, and I'll tell you what I like and don't like about this pen coming up. Blake here with Blake's Broadcast. On this channel, I review fountain pens, paper, and ink, and as always, I put links to the show notes in the description below. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, it really helps out my channel. Alright, let's get on with the review. This is the Cleo Skribent Optima fountain pen. Now, Cleo Skribent is a brand that is pretty new to me. They've been around, I believe, since the end of World War II, and they make pens in their own factory in Germany, but I think in their beginning they really just serviced, Eastern Bloc countries, but now they're available worldwide. And the quality of their pens, I think, is very, very high. I have really been enjoying this pen more than I expected. We'll talk about why that is in a minute, but let's walk through the pen. So this pen has a faceted body and cap, and there are 11 facets here. It's made out of a black resin or plastic. And what's interesting about it is if you look at the cap, like the finial here, besides the interesting finial, it's an oval shape, which is very unusual for something that's faceted. Now, of course, it does become round at the end there, but basically goes from round to oval, which is very unusual. And then we can also see the Cleo C here, which is filled in red, and then there's these cutouts. It's a pretty intricate finial. I really like that. And then also intricate is the clip here, which is very, I don't know, strange looking. You basically have a thin piece that comes out here and then comes back over and is sort of connected underneath. Now, it's quite a firm clip, and I don't really see these two masses sort of moving independent of each other, so they are pretty much, I think, welded in place. And I will say this is the one area that I don't necessarily love on this pen, is you do see these little, I don't know if they're tack welds. I'm not a manufacturing expert when it comes to this kind of stuff, so those parts look a little bit like the finish could be slightly better, but underneath the clip, it's very, very well finished, and that's really my only gripe, I would say, potentially, with the build of this pen, which I think is excellent. Now, on the cap ring, we can see it says Cleo, and then it says made in Germany. I have to say, the Cleo font, that looks okay. Made in Germany, I don't know. Not my favorite looking, but overall, it's a small detail here. Now, it's a threaded cap. The nibs, to my understanding, are made by Jowo, but they are pretty customized. We have Cleo's, own nib design here. This nib has taller shoulders than most of the Jowo nibs I've seen, and there is some gold plating here, which I believe Jowo does in-house. Now, this is a 14 karat gold nib, a big number 6 nib, and typical Jowo plastic feed. Nice section here. There is a little bit of a taper into the middle, and then it comes back out, but they're pretty much even at the ends there, and very minimal threading here. And then at the back of the pen, this sort of looks like it would be like a blind cap. In previous models, ones they haven't made for a while, this actually was a blind cap, which you would unscrew kind of like a very old school piston filler pen, and then you would have the knob there. So like this little back piece would basically unscrew off, and then you would have a knob inside there. But this doesn't. This is a cartridge converter pen. The threading on the section to the body is really, really smooth. I really like that. The threading here is also nice as well, but it's not quite as smooth as this threading here, which is very luxurious feeling. Now, it does come with a converter. It's a generic looking converter, but standard international cartridges and converter. One of the things that I really like about this pen is it's very, very lightweight, but it feels premium. I don't exactly know how they do it. You know, they say it takes 8 hours to finish one of these pens. It's very smooth, it's very nice to touch, and it's really, really comfortable to write with because it's super, super light. It does post. It's a pretty long pen posted, and because of, you know, the metal on the back, it does become top heavy when you post this. But I've been able to do it pretty comfortably without too much issue, but for longer writing sessions, you probably will want to take the cap off. So now in terms of length here, looking at about 142, 143 millimeters capped. Uncapped, nope, I think I just hit that pen on the table there, sorry, pen. Uncapped, looking at about 131 millimeters. Posted, looking at 161, 162. And then in terms of the grip section here, on this one, the middle part is the thinnest. So we'll check there, 9.7. And then right before the ring on the end there, 10.1. So it's not a super wide grip section, but because of the light weight, it is very, very comfortable. Now, so looking at 24.6 grams altogether. Now without the cap, we're at 12.3 grams. So that's pretty lightweight. Now, one thing I didn't mention is the price. The retail price of these pens is around $500. And, you know, that's a lot of money. I think there is enough quality here that an argument could be made for it at that price point. But as of right now, I believe Colt Pens has these on sale. I got this one from Colt Pens for, I think, around $280. At that price, I really, really like this pen. Let's do some comparisons with other pens here. Here it is with a Aurora style, so you can see it is a good amount bigger than that. Safari, and again, it's longer than that. Here it is with a 149, and they're roughly the same length. However, you can see the 149 is quite a bit thicker. Okay, let's do the writing sample. So for the writing sample, going to be using a Papermind Mitsubishi bank paper notebook. These notebooks are really excellent with fountain pens, and for Blake's broadcast viewers and subscribers, you can get 10% off with code BB10 at checkout. Okay, so this is the Cleo Skribent, and this is a broad. Oh, and this is the Optima. Sorry, this pen is called the Optima, and this is Konpeki Iroshizuku ink. Oh my gosh, I haven't written this 1,000 times. Try some fast writing. Yeah, I would say it doesn't love fast writing. So I've found that in normal use, I don't have any issues with skipping, but we can see it's not really liking fast writing here. And I imagine if I had a medium or a fine, it would probably keep up just fine. But this probably could use a little bit of a flow adjustment. It's a very smooth nib though, and I've really enjoyed writing with it. Just this pen is so light. It's really, really been an enjoyable experience. The nib is very smooth, as you would expect for a broad. Let's see here. In terms of flexibility, if I push on it a bit, we do get some pretty noticeable line variation there. Now, this is not sold as a flex nib, but it is quite soft. I expect the nib or the feed might not like it, but seems to do that pretty well. Now in terms of reverse writing, definitely feeling some scratchiness, and we're getting very little ink flow there. I would say this is not a great candidate for reverse writing. Okay, what are my pros and cons for the Cleo Skribent Optima fountain pen? I think there's a lot to like here. I really like the fit and finish of this pen. It has a very nice feel in hand. It's very smooth, very polished, and I think with the 11 facets there, it just has very nice haptics to it. I really like that. I also like how light it is. Now this like weighs I think like 12 grams or something like that without the cap. Despite that, it still feels very premium. I think just because of how well finished it is. It has a unique looking kind of finial and shape which starts as an oval and then turns into a circle with while still being faceted. It's a pretty interesting design. You have a very complex looking clip here, which I think is pretty unique. And you have a very attractive gold Yovo nib here, which is, customized for Cleo Skribent. Writes pretty well, very smooth, and quite a soft nib. I also like the threading on this pen. It feels very nice, feels very high quality. And I like that, we have basically a simple black pen here, but there's some unique design elements like the oval to circle faceted shape, the complicated clip, and finial. It just adds a nice little touch to the pen that I think elevates it above a standard black plastic pen. Also, I should mention these do have a lifetime warranty. The biggest con here is that they've discontinued this. It is expensive. $500, I believe, is the retail price. That's quite a lot for a pen that's, cartridge converter, plastic pen, but it is very well finished. The one thing that I don't necessarily like about the clip here is there are these little, I don't know if they're welds or it's just part of machining, just looks a little slightly bit unfinished where these two kind of delicate metal parts touch each other. But other than that, fit and finish is really excellent on this. Now, performance-wise, this nib is very nice to write with. I do get a little bit of skipping, so I'm probably going to be sending this to a nib meister to adjust the flow a little bit on this broad nib, but otherwise it is a very nice writer. But that's pretty much it. Do you guys have this pen? Do you like this pen? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more fountain pen, paper, and ink videos, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much, and until next time.